going on, y'all? In today's video we are going to be going over a swimming pool build that we did last year. It's going to be a time lapse, as you can see by the title, and I'm just going to kind of walk through what exactly we're doing and how we're doing it, and just kind of give you guys a little information on the pool building process, and hopefully you'll walk away with a couple of insights on what to look for if you're building a pool for yourself, and also just something that's very interesting. So as we get into this video, our first process is to mark it out for the dig of which we've done, and to get that first dig established. Now that first dig is our shallow end across the whole pool, and that's how we do our vinyl liners, and then we'll mark out the deep end, and then we'll dig that last. And that way you can get everything more efficiently. I can build a ramp to get in there and clean it out, and overall it's just a lot easier for making your deep end square and just the whole process. Here we are, we got it marked out, and this one is an 8-foot deep pool. As you can see, as we're digging this, everything is very meticulous. These walls are dug out within a ½ inch of where they need to be, mainly because these get coated with concrete to form the shape of the vinyl liner swimming pool. So everything has to be done very meticulously. This took a day. It's fast on the time lapse, but it took a day to do it. So very, very picky on how we do it. And then the next step here, obviously, is the pool panels. These are a polymer panel that we use from Latham Pool Products, the best I've ever used. I love them. Don't have to worry about rusting or rotting or anything like that, so it's very durable. These turnbuckles are a coated steel turnbuckle, so it's about as good as it's going to get as far as corrosion and whatnot. And we put them every 3 feet to hold the walls in to support for the backfill and all that. But we're just getting our layout. This is our initial design, and it's a rectangle 20 by 40 with those corner steps we're forming up there. That's very unique. The cool thing about a vinyl liner is you can customize however you want, and so it makes it very handy for steps, for depths, for shapes. You do really what you want, and so it makes it very cool. So on these stairs, some people will get kits and do them, and well, that's all and great, good and all that, but what I found is that these kits are not straight, and it's very hard to get them that way. And so what I've developed is a system to be able to pour a perfect step every time, and the right height, straight, and overall really high quality stair that's going to be underneath your water. Now what we do is, when we pour them, we strip them and face them as if they're going to be perfectly exposed and it'll look really good. And that way, when you put the liner over it, everything is perfectly smooth, it's straight and level and flat, and it just turns out amazing. And it's actually more cost effective to do it this way than it is to buy a kit. But we have a system to hold and lock everything in so it doesn't bust out, because concrete's notorious for busting forms, and it's very, very, very heavy. So you got to watch that as you're building them. But overall, the best way I've seen so far in my career. Now, unfortunately, I would have loved to have poured this concrete, but the homeowner had someone else do it. But it turned out pretty good. And so this is kind of a jump start from the backfill and the plumbing and all that into our liner bed. So as you can see, this is a 13-man crew. It's a lot of people, and it's extremely, extremely hot. This day was extremely hot. I'm dumping from the buggy, but basically the goal is to get the pool shaped according to the string lines. So I have these string lines set at the bottom of the pool that are predicated off of a dig sheet that we designed. That's pretty standard, but we just, we kind of make up as we go. If we want, the bottom deep end to be 5x5 or 10x10. In this case, it's 10x10 because it's 20 foot wide. So that means it has to be 5 foot away from each wall. Because when it's 8 foot deep, that's a very bare minimum is 5 foot. Because you can only slope that concrete so much before it just completely falls down. And so what we're doing is, you can see there's a perfectly flat surface, and these guys are doing a great job. My concrete guys are the best. And we're just shaping the walls, just very carefully and very meticulously with the special concrete. This concrete is a mix designed for fill. It's designed on an 8 slump. So if you ever mess with concrete, the bigger the number in slump, the more wet it is. And so my concrete guy was like, you could use this for your bottom to dry super fast, but we can dry it up. And believe me, this stuff dries within an hour putting it down. So we have to work extremely fast because you only have about 60 minutes to get it out of the truck, max. So I was like, well, let's try it. So sure enough, we tried it and it worked out perfectly. And, it's a lot of cement. It's like 50% cement, 50% sand. So you can imagine the thing dries insanely fast. So that's the finished product. It looks amazing. It's a shame to cover it up almost. But that's what you're looking for when you're shaping the bottom of your pool. So your liner will fit perfectly. It's very important. Now what we do after all the concrete's done and it's dry, we come back, clean the bottom, sweep it, grind any rough spots, and then we set the liner, and away we go.